You know, times are tough for a lot of people these days. 26 years ago, they were tough for our next guest.
He was struggling. Now he's a millionaire. Steve Siebold is the author of How Rich People Think. How Rich People Think. He says the key to turning around your financial situation is changing your thinking. Steve, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming by today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, is that really that simple? Change our thinking? And do rich people think differently than the rest of us?
Very differently, and it starts with thinking. I mean, you have to take action to make it happen, but it really, that's really where it starts. It's the foundation is thinking.
So it's all really a mental state is what you're saying. I've always heard this. Does this sound strange to you? You could take all the money away from the rich people and 10 years later they'd be rich again. Do you think that's true?
Oh, it'd be a lot sooner than that. It would be within 12 months probably. Yeah, because once you learn how to make money and you understand how it works and you develop a positive relationship, you think about it in positive ways, you start to attract it more. You start to take actions that lead you to make more money.
Okay, what are some of the thought processes that those of us who are not super wealthy have that are holding us back? I mean, how do we begin to change our thinking?
Well, I think right off the bat, look at money and earning money in terms of its simplicity, because I think most of us are taught that money is complicated, and money is really simple. You solve a problem, you make money. You solve a bigger problem, you make more money. The more money you want to make, the bigger problem you solve. Like, for example, singing, probably not. You're probably not going to get rich doing it either.
Thank you for pointing that out. I'm not paying you for that, though.
I had to do it.
Good one.
You say
credit for Steve.
Start with a premise of abundance and not fear. What do you mean by that?
Well, most of us, I think, are taught to fear money. We're taught that it's a necessary evil and it's not going to make you happy and it doesn't grow on trees and all these negative things. And rich people are evil and greedy and narcissistic, and most of that is not true. I mean, I've spent 26 years with the super rich, the really rich people all over the world. These are some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm. And down to earth and cool and that kind of thing. It's
Very much.
Yeah.
They're self-made. I mean, these are 2/3 of the millionaires make their money self-made. 1/3 is inherited money. I don't interview the inherited people, the people that inherit their money, but the people that make it. And they're very down to earth. They've come from nothing most of the time.
And you say, too, Steve, that you shouldn't be ashamed. If you want to attract money into your life, you want to earn more money, embrace that. Don't be embarrassed. I think probably people feel a little bit embarrassed to say, yes, I'm going to earn $1 million. You say, don't be ashamed of that. Go for it.
Oh, I got hammered for this, for saying I want to be a millionaire, and I was 20 years old. And people said, well, that's pipe down a little bit, kid, that type of thing. And what's wrong with ambition? It's what built America. Without the millionaires, this country wouldn't exist. You need millionaires to spend money on luxury goods to drive the GDP. It's one of the things that drives the gross domestic product. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things about having money. Freedom is probably the best.
So I want to be rich. What do I got to do? Take lots of risks?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think the rich take calculated risks. They don't like to play the slot machines. They like to own them. So I think it's taking calculated, strategic risk. But and finding something you love to do, matching your talent, your skill set with a problem you can solve.
Okay, so find the problem, solve the problem.
Right. The bigger problem you solve, the richer you get.
Okay, that's a good thing to do. I think for people who are watching and listen to you talk about it, they think, oh, probably easy for him to say, he's got a lot of money. We're struggling. I can't pay my bills. I want for people who are watching right now to take away from what you're saying today. What's the first thing you suggest that they do toward changing their attitude about money?
I would say learn the differences in thinking between the middle class, the average person, most of us, and the wealthy class, the rich. And start with that, because you'll see it's like they're living on a different planet. And they're no smarter than us. They're no better than us. They're no more educated in most cases. They just think completely differently about money. It's amazing. It really is.
Are we just way too emotional about money? Is that part of the problem?
I think it is part of the problem. I mean, I think people approach, it's almost like someone that gets divorced and that's very bitter, and then they enter into the dating market, let's say, and they're bitter and they're divorced and they're looking at the opposite sex as these are people that are going to try to take some from me or cheat me or that type of thing. I think most people approach money that same way. And how successful would that divorced person be re-entering the singles market, let's say?
That's a very good point. That's absolutely true. How can people get your book, How Rich People Think?
If they go to howrichpeoplethinkbook.com, they can get 5 chapters for free.
Oh, well, how do you like that? That's one step to get rich. You don't have to spend money on his book. You can read 5 chapters of it for free.
That's not the getting rich part.
Very good. Interesting stuff. There's some interesting information in this book. Steve, thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.